So Jeremy, it's 5 years from now. Let's say we're at the beginning of 2029. Am I going to have a stable coin, your coin, Circle Coin, on my phone, and I'll be able to walk into any vendor at that point and transact? Or when do you think that happens?
I think so. So if you think about where we are today, a lot of the technology that we, like digital currencies, stable coins, blockchains, digital wallets, all this stuff, as you probably know, being active in the space, right? It's still complex. There's still, you need to know too much. It's too confusing. And so the key thing that's happening right now is there are huge improvements being made in what I'll just broadly call blockchain infrastructure.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be jumping down the rabbit hole, doing some research and covering some very interesting recent fundamentals in the DeFi space. DeFi is such a phenomenal marketplace to be in the current state of the digital asset ecosystem because of the exponential growth that it is set to experience over the next couple of years. So in today's video breakdown, I'm just going to show you all some updated fundamentals that, in my personal opinion, are extremely bullish for this space long term. If you all enjoy these video breakdowns, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Now, before we jump into today's video breakdown, showing you guys some positions that I'm in and covering some very interesting fundamentals, real fast overview of the market over the past 24 hours. We have given a full entire fundamental breakdown to our private CYPRX community members, explaining why we've seen some sell pressure in risk assets. The total cryptocurrency market cap as a whole over the past 24 hours has lost over $130 billion of value, down about 6% on the day. And the vast majority of individuals, it's extremely sad, don't know why. They have no idea why their assets aren't performing well, why they're not making money, even though they're watching YouTube influencers and Twitter influencers on the internet telling them to get into crypto, to buy, to dollar cost average, and to hold. Now, in my personal opinion, yes, that is a strategy that you can come by. Buying digital assets, putting them on your cold storage wallet, and holding them for the long term. But there are other ways to make money in these markets aside from just buying and holding. And if you're not capitalizing on those opportunities, again, you're sleeping on your own potential. And DeFi is one of the many ways that you could be making money, printing money while you sleep in this digital asset ecosystem. So again, don't forget, we are going to be building out an educational portal within inside the CYPRX monthly subscription, literally showing you guys hands-on how we are printing money here at CYPRX through utilizing DeFi, right? If you're not too familiar, traditional exchanges like NASDAQ are predominantly dominated by professional market makers, leaving very little room for the average person to participate. However, with decentralized exchanges, the game completely changes where you can be a liquidity provider for these trading pairs and you can be making money literally while you sleep. Now, obviously, of course, there's risk associated, there's a learning curve, but here, just as an example, I opened this position up only, I believe, not even 24 to 48 hours ago. It hasn't even been full 2 days. And you can see this position alone has already made me over $46. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money, but if I have multiple positions making me $46 here, $100 here per day, maybe $10 here per day, that adds up. And you can take that money and you can do many things with it. You can put it into a bull run bag. You can compound it back into more liquidity pools. You can put it into stablecoin pairs that earn yield. You can put it into digital assets that allow staking, and you can grow wealth even further that way. There are so many opportunities in the DeFi space, which is why in today's video breakdown and in many other video breakdowns, we're going to focus a lot of our attention into the DeFi space, showing you guys a part of CYPRX that we haven't really unleashed to the general public. Here in the DeFi chat, you can see it's already popping, and we are only going to continuously pump valued content in the CYPRX community into our private CYPRX community members. Now, let's jump into the fundamentals today. So the first one here that I have to read for you all, talking about how Avalanche integrates with Stripe for fiat to crypto onboarding. This is extremely important because we know that in past market cycles and as we stand today, it's extremely hard for the average manual retail investor, the individual that doesn't know too much about this digital asset ecosystem, to onboard into the space, to get their fiat money, their liquidity into this digital asset ecosystem.
Be a bigger network. And I definitely see this year as coming big of the big consumer use cases that were not possible before, just because the infrastructure of user experience was not ready. Which starts with a wallet, and like, it requires some functionality of the underlying blockchains to support.
Is the crypto and blockchain aspect of it specifically. Is that because, yes, we're all in this industry, we've been in this industry, and we understand the jargons, whatever it may be, but when you go talk to, let's say, my grandmother, who's, you know, an older lady, etc., she's not really going to understand what the hell a wallet is. Of course, we have like things like account abstraction coming in and ZKs and all this stuff, but at face value, they really don't understand that technology at all. And humans, as just, you know, intrinsic nature, are resistant to change and will be, because that's our biology at the end of the day, right? You always fear what you don't know. So are we ready? I think there's going to be more trust that's needed from the larger non-crypto audience, and that's only going to come with institutions, right? Over time, as you see, like I know we're not supposed to talk about pricing and stuff, but what's happening in the last couple of weeks and months with like ETFs, and you see larger institutions starting to use crypto at a certain level, you will start to see the masses then move to that as well.
Avalanche C-Chain users can now buy AVAX directly with Web3 apps by using a widget supplied by Stripe. The Avalanche C-Chain network has integrated with payment firm Stripe, allowing verified Stripe users to buy Avalanche's AVAX and send it to their wallets, according to an April 29th blog post, so this is just from yesterday, from the network's developer. Avalabs, 8 Avalanche Web3 apps have also been integrated with the platform. Now, in my personal opinion, this is extremely massive. Why? Akasha Gupta, head of consumer products at Ava Labs, stated that he believes the integration will help to increase crypto adoption worldwide. Remember, it is extremely hard for the average retail person with not a lot of education about this space to onboard. And this type of integration, this type of partnership, this type of connectedness, it is going to help onboard the next billion users.
Tell me about what you're most excited when it comes to use cases and applications, because ultimately we're building all this so billions of people can use this technology in the future. So curious what you're thinking about when it comes to applications.
There's probably a broad range of applications we can talk about in this panel, but just seeing that mindset shift from the talent side of things, where people are like more interested in coming to the space and building real solutions for end users, you know, coupled with rollups, account abstraction, other improvements we'll see this year. I think there are a ton of use cases that we've been talking about for a really long time, you know, from like 2017 ICOs that will finally come to market in the near future. And hopefully people will be interacting on chain without necessarily knowing that they're using crypto at all.
That's great.
Core's integration with Stripe is just another step that underscores our dedication to providing users with intuitive and streamlined solutions by further bridging the gap between crypto and fiat. Core continues to pave the way for seamless onboarding and broader consumer adoption of digital currencies and everyday transactions. These are the type of fundamental developments that you want to see, especially during market downturns like this. When we see $130 billion gone from the digital asset space, but we're seeing developments like this, where they're just making it easier for individuals to onboard fiat into the digital asset ecosystem, we know over the long term, this is going to equate to exponential growth. Now, another fundamental piece in the DeFi space that I liked, this was posted just 19 hours ago, Lido Finance hits 1 million validators, fueling the growth of DeFi. So Lido Finance has just reached 1 million Ethereum validators as the largest decentralized finance protocol. Liquid staking protocols like Lido Finance make staking more accessible for who? Retail users with limited capital. That's extremely beneficial for individuals that don't have massive amounts of capital to play with, but still want to get involved in this DeFi space, and who would otherwise need 32 Ethereum to run their own validator nodes on Ether. Now, what I like about this is scrolling down here, it says liquid staking is fueling the rise of DeFi, where the total value locked, or TVL, in DeFi protocols surged from a low of $36 billion in the fourth quarter of 2023 to a peak of $97 billion in the first quarter of 2024. Obviously, of course, that number has slightly retraced, but here you can see the total DeFi currently sits at about $92 billion according to DeFi Llama. Why is this so important to be paying attention to and know these numbers and where we're currently sitting at in the market right now via opportunities that are readily available? Look at these figures. So if we come over here to CoinsPad, here you can see a projected market cap by 2030 of roughly about $231 billion in the DeFi industry. That is massive exponential growth in the next couple of years, which is, again, one of the many reasons why you should be paying attention to DeFi, why you should start researching how to get involved being a liquidity provider and earning fees by providing liquidity for these trading pairs instead of just buying and holding. Now, yes, of course, buying and holding is a great strategy in my personal opinion. It's extremely important, and again, my personal opinion, not financial advice, to have separate portfolios, a long-term bag where you just buy, you stick into cold storage, and you don't do anything with it, and you just let it appreciate over time. But what's stopping you from doing research on DeFi and utilizing the tools available right now in the moment to grow our wealth, right? What's stopping you from using those tools? Most likely it's just your lack of education, or it's just your fear, uncertainty, and doubt of this space. All right. So with that, you can conquer that mindset by getting educated, by understanding what it is that you're getting involved in, understanding how platforms work, finding platforms that are audited, finding good projects that have utility and use case, which we're going to get into in just 1 second, because we know the entire crypto market infrastructure is changing. We're going to eventually phase out of this speculative phase, this early nascent phase, and we're going to enter into a utility cycle.
So we've seen this ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem, evolve over the past decade and a bit. The narratives have come and gone. We started off with the Bitcoin narrative. We moved through the ICO narrative, moved to NFTs, and now we're seeing all the hype has been and left the system, and we're actually now seeing real value, real fundamentals becoming the dominant narrative as it's moving in.
So with that being said, let's jump over, since we're on the topic of utility, to this last fundamental piece. Jeremy Allaire unveils stablecoin prediction and says one use case, definitely the killer app.
It's sort of like when we went from dial-up internet, which was a pain in the butt and was complex and it was slow, to broadband internet with like mobile devices, right? Then all of a sudden, like gazillions of apps grew, the user experience got really good, and the complexity of the internet went into the background. So over the next 1 to 2 years, the complexity of blockchain and crypto wallets and all this, it's going to go into the background. And at the same time, but even in the late 90s, it was overhyped. It was, you know, we call it the worldwide wait. It was like everything was painful, and so there was a lot of overhype. And the dot-com crash really reflected the fact that everyone was trying to build all these businesses, but technically, really, you couldn't do it. You couldn't deliver the goods. So when I look at what's happening with blockchain tech, I look at it very similar, which is basically we've gone through this cycle of like raw early technology to an overhyped cycle to now it's like I would say we're in like the 2002 of the internet, where all of a sudden the broadband pipes are getting laid down. All of a sudden the software that makes the experience of the internet, you know, far, far better is coming online. That's where we are with this. And so essentially, you need legal certainty. So you need legal certainty on how these are treated and how they're used. That's happening. You need scalability. So you need infrastructure that can readily support, both from a user experience perspective and a raw throughput perspective, the kinds of things where you can do internet scale things. That's happening right now. And then you need a free market environment where you've got, you know, entrepreneurs and developers and other things building. And I think that has happened, and I think we're going to see another pretty significant wave of invested capital into people building on this now that we've kind of, you know, I think we're clearing away some of the debris, as it were. So I think my view is that that kind of mainstream catalyst and the experiences around those are really right in front of us, and we'll see, you know, over the next 3 to 5 years, that you know, sort of scaling out to where, you know, literally 1 billion or 2 billion plus people are interacting with this on a regular basis.
Again, I mentioned that we are on the precipice of entering into a utility cycle. Now, when that is going to come, I'm not here to debate that. I know that eventually in this digital asset space, we will see a utility-driven cycle. This article is extremely interesting because Jeremy Allaire goes on to say that he has his eyes on a crypto use case that could be the tech that sparks mass adoption of blockchain and digital assets.
We believe that the markets obviously is a bit bearish in terms of where we're seeing in digital assets, but we do believe that mass adoption is about to come, and I'll just tell you why.
In a new interview on Bankless, Jeremy Allaire says that the general payment utility that stablecoins allow for is likely the most important use case for bringing the masses on chain. So now we have two fundamental reports in the DeFi ecosystem talking about mass adoption being on the cusp of taking place. I think general payment utility, and this is a direct quote from Jeremy Allaire, is definitely the killer app that we will see. And I don't just view it as like this is just about to be the Venmo, the person-to-person type component. The beauty of this is the infrastructure works for every dimension of the market. There are USDC users that are paying 25 cents for digital objects in Web3 gaming, and they can do it because it actually works. And then at the exact same time, with the same technology on the exact same blockchain, it's being used to settle $200 million trades bilaterally, peer-to-peer between two large trading counterparties. That is an absolutely massive statement right now, showing you all the potential possibilities that are readily available to us as manual retail investors with small amounts of money, and to large investors like financial institutions with massive amounts of money to utilize this technology to our benefit. Now, here is the last part, the very interesting part. Jeremy Allaire predicts that by the year 2030, just the stablecoin sector alone, okay, that's not even anything else, just the stablecoin sector, will be over $3 trillion, which is almost double what the total cryptocurrency market cap is worth today. Now, I personally think that is a low ball. Same way I think that these numbers here, $231 billion in the DeFi industry, is a low ball as well. In my personal opinion, I think that the DeFi industry by 2030 will be well over $500 billion, heading and making its way towards $1 trillion, in my personal opinion. But again, to each his own, do your own research. As always, many blessings to you guys. Really, truly understand what's coming. Understand the potential possibilities that you all have at your fingertips. And this is just one of the many examples of the pools that I'm currently sitting in that are generating me passive income right now just by being a liquidity provider. Yes, I still have my long-term bags. Yes, I'm still an active day trader, but this is just another way to grow your wealth by utilizing these new technological advancements to our advantage, right? So with that being said, hopefully you all enjoyed this video breakdown. Make sure that you're following us on the X space, make sure that you're following us on YouTube, and make sure that you stick around for further announcements via the educational portal that we are building out for the CYPRX monthly subscribers to teach them about DeFi, to teach them about our personal strategies, what pools we're in, how much money we have involved in DeFi, taking a look into my long-term digital asset bags, and really showing you guys an in-depth perspective on how to get involved in DeFi to grow your wealth. As always, many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.